Okay, good afternoon. So I'm going to shift gears and I'm going to talk about role of video in ICT infrastructure. So in the interest of time, I'm going to spend about 2.5 minutes talking about the company and the technology, and I'll spend about 3 to 4 minutes talking about the use case and where it's applicable in the government environment. So quickly about video. So first, we are an R&D company based in India. We have IIT Kharagpur as our technology advisor. We've had a pretty strong last financial year with 128% growth. We are only in the video conferencing software business. We launched our technology in September 2008, and we do hope that we will be a global software company. As one of the recognitions, we were chosen by CSIR for the New Millennium Indian Technology Initiative. So that's a very quick snapshot. Let's spend about a minute on the video conferencing market. So really, if you look at it, videos got limited to a small section of the population. And if you were to go back in the 80s or the 70s, it was not easy to get a phone, right? You had to wait for 6 months or a year before you could get a phone connection. But now everybody's got 2 phones, 3 phones, and 4 phones. Video is in a similar state where it gets used by CEOs, CXOs, or the top bureaucrats, really hasn't percolated down to a larger cross-section of people. And in a way, it's what the industry offers. So both technology and price have limited the use of video. And our view is that video is going to move similar to that of voice. Now, one of the good things is within the telecom industry that the bandwidth prices going south will really help adoption of video. And from what we see in the market, it is emerging as a very close substitute for face-to-face meetings. So we all know when you travel, it's both a drag on time and cost. And I think one important thing that I heard from multiple speakers earlier is about reaching out to the rural areas, villages, panchayats, CSCs, and Dr. Shah talked about 14,000 CSCs over VSAT. So ma'am, one thing I can tell you, with this technology, you can do a video conference live with 14,000 kiosks at the same time. So if the chief minister or the chief secretary were to address, right, those 14,000 people on VSAT can get live video. Right, so I think that's the power of technology that we really want to get, especially with this connectivity with remote areas, which is now happening with the statewide area networks and all the other infrastructure. And of course, you want to go reduce carbon footprints, you have less travel, right, which is better. And as we say, there are going to be a few thousand boardrooms, which is where the current technology is positioned, a few million PCs and a few billion handsets, where we want to go. So quickly about what's a good quality video. So there are a lot of myths about it. So you need good frames per second, you need good resolution, you need good scalability, you should be able to go to any location. Like I said, that if you've got 14,000 kiosks over VSAT, you can go scale up to that level. You should be able to share applications, browser, whiteboarding, integrate boardroom, desktop, and mobile. And it should be open standard. So somewhere earlier I heard this question around open source. While open source and open standard are different, but this technology is really open standard. So you can choose any camera, any network, any display. It's really open. And it's linearly upgradable. So if you want to go from 40 to 50, you don't need to go change your MCU, right? You can just go add so many more software licenses. Now, like I said, it's really an independent software, works across cameras and displays. Works on all networks, so works on broadband. I heard Mr. Jain talking about earlier saying that broadband is really out to all the rural areas. This works on broadband, works on internet lease line, MPLS, VSAT. So you need 4,000 or 40,000, you only send one video forward. And if you don't need to see all those people back, then there is no reverse video coming. So I think that's the power of the multicast technology. And all VSATs work on multicast, right? So really this way you can get to scale without it being a drag on your bandwidth. Because one video means 256 KB. So that's the bandwidth that you need when you really want to scale across so many locations and you want to go deliver a message to all these people. So you can do meeting rooms, boardrooms, PCs, laptops, mobile. And I think one of the unique things that we are doing is to connect the mobile to the boardroom. So if there are 5 people in 5 boardrooms and there is 1 person on mobile, all 6 can be on the same video conference. I think really that's the power that we will go deliver. So now with 3G happening, and as the spectrum is available and as there's enough bandwidth, this will really become a reality. Like I said earlier, you can share presentations, whiteboard, applications, animations, chat, etc. on this. So it's not just a video conference, but you can also do your applications. And in a lot of government environments, you can also do surveillance and conference. So you can switch between the two. So if you want to keep it on a surveillance mode for some time and then want to do video conference, you can go do that. So really from a government standpoint, right, a whole lot of our states have a huge geographical spread. And it could take, it's like an overnight journey, or it takes 12 to 14 hours. You want to go from a place to place. Really not that easy to go cover. There is lack of good quality teachers and doctors and other skilled manpower, which I will talk about subsequently. There is need for ability to communicate in real time with various government employees spread across the country. And there is perceived risk in traveling to locations. So we all know that there are certain locations where if you want people to go, there is some amount of reluctance, but your ability, your need to communicate doesn't go away. And then you want to monitor progress of important works, and we really want to collaborate in real time. So I think these are issues that we all know. Now, I think what we are seeking to do is to make this simpler, right? Make this easier, make this scalable, to be able to address all of these issues. And you don't need a boardroom to go do it, right? You don't need a boardroom to go do it. You can do it in a boardroom, right? You can do it in a boardroom, but you can do it on your laptop, you can do it on your PC, and you can do it on your mobile. So from a government standpoint, so we heard about the statewide area networks. It will ride extremely well on the statewide area networks. Strong story around education and healthcare, which these are two use cases that I will talk about. From a judiciary standpoint, so there is this initiative which has been on for quite some time, that for prisoners who need to be presented before the judge, how can you get the two to communicate without the prisoner having to physically go across to the judge? Right, and there is this probability of the prisoner escaping, and you've got a whole lot of logistics issues. So these are all multiple potential use cases in the government that we can do. Now, what I would want to do is quickly spend a minute each on education and health, which will give you a real view about how the technology can get used. So let's first talk about education. You can really do a study on classroom. So we said there is not enough good quality faculty. Sorry. You go 50 kilometers outside Delhi or any of the metros and you will start seeing the nature and the quality of education that will change. So can we go generate good quality faculty overnight? The answer is no. Can we go leverage on the existing good quality faculty? The answer is absolutely yes. So we can go set up a studio. From the studio, on a multicast technology, you can go connect to as many classrooms as you want, 10, 20, 40, 50, 100. And then you can get into a two-way interaction. So what you see on this screen, there's this little hand right at the bottom, which is the hand which says that somebody wants to ask a question. When you go click on the hand, you will get this list of 5 people. And the teacher can choose who to allow to ask the question. Then that person comes on screen, the person can ask the question, it becomes two-way. Then you can take the person off screen and allow the next person to come in. So really, if you have one good quality faculty, you can go cover as many classrooms as you want, depending on the ability to handle. And in my view, really with the shortage of good quality faculty and the huge demands, this can be a very powerful way to get good quality education to millions of children across the country. Plus, you can do PPT along with all of this, and the videos will realign, and of course, it gets used across. So that's really around education. Similarly, let me talk about health. Now, one of the things that we've done for healthcare is to integrate our software on the DICOM standards with the medical machines. So if you have an X-ray machine or an ECG machine, that will get hooked on the PC, and you can ship that X-ray or that ECG across the video. So when you really do a telemedicine, it's not about just the doctor being able to see the patient on video. It's about the doctor being able to see all the reports of the patient and then give his or her opinion. So what you need is, so let's say if you've got a small hospital in a rural area and you don't have the expert sitting in that area, then you can go connect to an expert doctor, right, to a large hospital. You can get all the reports to that doctor, and then the two can talk. So really, while it may not be as good as face-to-face, but you can get expert advice from a doctor in a remote area which could be hundreds of kilometers away. And these two cases, right, really is the need of the hour in the country, because there is shortage of good quality faculty and doctors in both. So and this is what a screen for a telemedicine would really look like. So as a summary, make videos simpler, make it available to a larger cross section of people. Remote areas should no longer be a challenge. Scale to N level to as much as you want. Deliver quality in line with best of breed. It's really an open standard technology, and integrate different mediums. And finally, like I said earlier, we are an R&D company, so we are going to launch a 3D video conferencing pretty shortly, right? It's in works. In the next few weeks, months, you will hear more from us. Then you can do video conferencing, really live 3D, naked eye without a glass. And we have a lot of customers. Thank you.
Thank you.